This is the side hustle that I personally used to generate $250,000 in 9 months when first getting started. YouTube is completely overrun with side hustles, so if you've been searching for the best one, then I'm sure you've heard of this one before. Look, over the last 5 years, I've tried a lot of the popular side hustles out there, including trading, drop shipping, podcasts, flipping items on Marketplace, even transcribing, and so many more. So I'm making this video from my own personal experience. The only thing that I ever got with all of those other side hustles I tried was stressed out. On every one I tried, I either lost time or money, and none of them put me ahead in any way. That was until I found the side hustle that actually worked. This side hustle takes time. It takes a lot of effort, and you're guaranteed to get a bunch of headaches and stress along the way. Honestly, 90% of people quit within the first couple of weeks, and sometimes it's right before they're about to get their first paycheck from it. But if you're serious about making real change in your life and you're not some bum that quits and gives up when things get a little tough, then the side hustle that can seriously change your life is wholesaling real estate. People are getting insanely rich with real estate, but everyone thinks that the only way to do this is to actually purchase real estate. But that's not the only way. So how did I do $250,000 in 9 months and never have to buy anything? This is because real estate is honestly insane. It's honestly just a game designed by the rich to help the rich get richer, but they left spaces where anybody can jump in and get rich just the same as them. If you really want to make $5,000, maybe $10,000 a month in real estate without owning or having to rent out any properties, then this is how you're going to do it. I'm not talking about Airbnb arbitrage, so you're not spending any of your money on renting any places, supplies for those places, furniture, or anything like that. You really won't need a whole lot of money to get started with wholesaling real estate. If you do it right, then you may need $300 maximum. All you're doing is finding deals for investors, and when you find one for them, they pay you a finder's fee. You go out and you find them a crappy house that they can renovate and then sell, and to say thank you, they pay you for finding them a house. A lot of these really big investors don't have time to go out just looking for property all the time. They're busy working on their projects. Look, it sounds crazy, but typically the thank you check, the finder's fee, is between $10,000 and $20,000. Some people are even getting checks between like $100,000 and $250,000 as a finder's fee. I'm not fucking around with this. I personally know a couple of dudes who did over $1 million a year with wholesaling real estate. It was insane. You're not an agent, you don't need a license, and you don't need thousands of dollars to get started. In the comments, I want you to tell me, if any, what side hustles have this kind of potential for growth. If you're actually curious about wholesaling real estate, you can use the first link in the description to book a free call with me, and I can answer any questions that you might have. So let's break it down. How can you actually get started with this? How does it work? The first thing that you have to do is just find a junky old house. Go for a walk or a bike ride around a junky old neighborhood. Maybe you drive, but just find a way to get out to one of these crappy old neighborhoods. You're looking for a junky old house that needs to be renovated, something that needs to be fixed up, and when you find that house, just go knock on the door and talk to the owner. You really just want to find out if they're interested in selling the house, but you don't want to outright say, hey, do you want to sell the house? You got to have some finesse, you know? And I can teach you that finesse. So use the link below and let's get started. But if they want to sell the house, then you got to offer on the house. You can literally find the paperwork to do this online. It's not that hard. And so when the seller of the house signs the paperwork, you just go on Facebook and you find an investor to buy the contract off of you, and they pay you a finder's fee. Obviously, there's some steps in between all of that that you're going to need to know, and so that's why I'm actually going to be releasing some videos very soon about this. Definitely subscribe, that way you don't miss them when they come out. It really is a simple process, but the hardest part of all of this is finding a good property, and then even harder is getting the owner to sell the house at a really good price. But if you have a really good mentor or you learn really well from mistakes that you've made in your past, then you could potentially get your first deal within a month or sooner. One of my students got his first deal locked up within like 3 days. Personally, I watched YouTube videos about this for like a week before I got started, and within just a couple of weeks, I had my first property under contract. I didn't end up selling that property or making any money from it because I made a bunch of mistakes along the way. I was brand new, but it is possible to get a property under contract pretty quickly. This is a side hustle that anybody can do, and it leads deeper into the game of real estate. Through wholesaling, you actually have to learn about investing, and so therefore a lot of wholesalers very quickly become investors. Some of them even make enough money to retire within just a couple of years of starting. This is a game literally designed to get people rich and help them stay rich. The government even designed the tax system so that if you're in the game of real estate, you don't pay as much in taxes. But if you don't want to get into real estate and desperately need a side hustle, I completely understand. And that's why I made this video explaining the best kind of side hustle that you can try. Check it out and subscribe because the channel is growing and the content just keeps getting better and better.